Hello, Cherries, and welcome to Live Cherry Sunday, episode 202. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to borrow chords from the parallel minor. And this is really cool. I think you're going to enjoy this. Let me start off by just playing a couple loops that I have here, and so you can see where I'm getting at right here. Let's check this out. All right, so that's the idea, basically. Borrowing chords from the parallel minor. It's really simple. And if you're enjoying this video so far, hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications. Here's some applause for you for hanging out with me. Hello, Jeffrey Boyo. All right, got the nice shades on. Coming in from Philly, Douglas Bracone. Lovely. All right, thank you so much, Douglas. That is very cool of you. So check this out, what we have here. Let's just talk about this a little bit. This is all I'm doing right here. I'm playing two scales through all of that stuff that you just heard. I had 4 different chord progressions, and there's so many more. We're going to make up a couple. I would love for you to make up a couple of these too. So the first two chord progressions were just a 1-4-5. It was the C, F, back to the C again. So see the top where it says diatonic? That's C. The 4, F. The G is a 5. So looking at the diatonic chord chart here, that's the musical alphabet in the key of C, no sharps or flats. Last week I did the 7 chords of the diatonic key, and I did it in E. And, so today we're going to do it in C. Just move it around a little bit because I had the charts already. I had this graph. But it's good to mix it up. And so C, D, E, F, G, A, B, that's the scale, C major scale. It's also the solfege. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Excuse me, I'm not warmed up yet today. I haven't had my coffee yet, which I still haven't had my coffee because this is tea. What are you drinking out there today? Let me know here in the chats. This is a tea because I didn't run out of coffee. I ran out of coffee filters. Almost as bad. Probably just as bad because you still can't make coffee, right? But this tea is good too. So talking a little bit about this chart here. You got the 2 scales here, diatonic and the parallel minor. And C, D, E, F, G, A, B. And it's like the Nashville system as well. Each note or chord here has a Roman numeral to it. You have C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which is the back to the root again. Barry Coulter. Cool. Always looking forward to a barred chord lesson. Awesome. That's good. And I'm stretching a little oddly here because my left shoulder is kind of sprained a little bit, so it's a little weird. But you are drinking a Coke? All right. Sounds good. Sounds refreshing. And so getting back to this borrowed chord. First, before we could borrow any chords, you have to know how we're going to get them. So starting with the C major scale, we have the C. So each one of these notes has a chord. And as you can see too on this chart, on this graph here, above each letter is a Roman numeral. The larger uppercase Roman numerals mean they're major chords, and the lowercase Roman numerals mean they're minor chords. So C, major, D, minor, E, minor, F, major, G, major, A, minor, and B is a minor 7 flat 5. And I always hit that chord wrong, at least the first time. Back to a C again. So you got, why does that sound terrible? There you go. That's just harmony in the major scale. So yes, Robert, you can still get the blues track, any tracks you'd like. Send me an email, info@cherry. You get anything you want, anytime. So, all right. So, I built a couple chord progressions using the diatonic chart here. I did a 1-4-5, like this, C. Then we did an F. We did a G. We did a B. It's like the same type of thing if you wanted to do like a blues thing, C, 1-4-5, you like a F, G, same type of thing, 1-4-5. But in this case, we're sticking to a diatonic blues, which is a C, to an F, to a G, to a C. Just like that. All right. So we did that one track. Here's another example of a blues, of a diatonic progression. 2-5-1. we'll take the 2 chord, the D minor, 5 chord G, back to the C. And of course, you know, just like the first one, I could play in C major. Just playing the C major pentatonic scale. And the first one was like this. So as you can see, all I'm doing is playing the C major pentatonic scale over the of those progressions because it's in the key of C. It's parallel. You know, it's a I'll give you a bigger chart right here. It's they're all the same notes everywhere. You know, it's a diatonic, and you come up with some really cool traditional chord progressions here that are just amazing. I mean, you could write a million songs doing this, and you know, I'm slightly targeting certain chord tones in here. You know, you could basically play the major pentatonic scale or the major scale and just wank around, you know, and hopefully land on a good note. But on a 1-4-5 where it's C, and you can land on the target on the root notes on the F, like see G. So I'm landing on the root notes. Oops. You know, the F, G, then the third of C. Fitty. The same thing with the 2-5-1. Starts on a D minor to a G. That's all diatonic. But now we're going to get a little bit more interesting, and we're going to start borrowing some chords from this parallel minor. And what does the parallel minor mean? Well, you know, it's basically, or not just basically, it is two scales that go parallel with each other. So if you look at this, what's interesting here is if you look at this first chart here, the top, the diatonic, where it says A, which is the sixth note. That's the natural minor, the relative minor, the A, relative minor of C. If you take that and you continue going to the B, and then the C, then the D, then the E, just rotate. They're starting on the A, so you have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A again. Well, the parallel minor is the same thing because you're starting on the minor note, but in this case, to make it parallel, we're gonna start on the key of C minor instead of A minor. But it's the same chord formula. You know, like for instance, so check this out right here. If like I did this already, if I played the 1 chord, the 2 chord, 3 chord, 4 chord, 5 chord, the 6 chord, A minor, or down here, okay, the 6 chord, and you have the 7 chord, which was the B half diminished chord, which is a little weird, and you go to C, you're back at C again, C. Okay, then you have C, then D, then E, then F, etc. Okay, so the same chord formula transferred to C minor. Okay, so you have the same formula now. So now you have the 6 chord, then you have that minor flat 5, then you have an E flat. So it's the same formula where it's minor, half diminished, major. So now you're in the key of E flat major. Then you have, see, it's really just, it's the same scale. It's the E flat major scale. Here's the do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Major scale. Over C minor. So now because of that same formula, so now you could actually borrow chords from each other. And that's what a lot of bands do to make their music sound very interesting when they switch from major to minor. So if any questions about this stuff, let me know. The most complicated part would probably be just explaining that the parallel minor, the minor of the major chord, A minor, is now C minor, okay, and they're running parallel with each other. Instead of it being A minor, well, normally, if this bottom parallel minor, if it didn't say parallel minor, it just said minor, it would be A minor, you know, B half diminished, C, D. It would be the same chords rotating of the diatonic key of C. But now it's C minor, so it's parallel with each other. So that means that you could take any one of these chords relative to the number system and just steal and borrow them from each other. I did another loop here, which was, check this one out. This is a C, E flat major, B flat. So what I did was, I kept the 1 chord from diatonic, B flat. I took the 7 chord, the 3 chord and the 7 chord. So here's the C, the 1. Here's the 3 of the parallel minor, E flat, the 7 of parallel minor, B flat, and C. Sounds like this. So that's pretty cool. So that allows me to play C major over this first chord. And then when it goes to the E flat, it allows me to play C minor. Because now once I hit that B flat chord, which is the 7 chord and the minor, so any one of those chords, now I just play C minor. Yeah, robbing Peter to jam with Paul. That is really, really cool. I like that. Never heard that expression before, but that's basically what I'm doing. I'm robbing Peter to jam with Paul right now. Oh, that's so funny. So hitting that B, also hitting the E flat, hitting the B, playing an A. So you don't have to really think about targeting too much at first. You could just play C minor, C pentatonic. When it hits that second chord, the B flat, well, you know that's in C minor. That's a 7 chord of C minor. So I could play just the C minor pentatonic. for the simplest explanation there. And then when it goes to the B flat, actually no, the second chord was the E flat. I keep mixing these up. E flat and B, then B flat, back to C. So over the C, I can just play the minor scale. And then when it goes back to C, I'm back to C, C major. Let's see what that sounds like a little bit. Oops, I already missed it. Minor. Minor. Back to major. Yeah, it does a little Peter Frampton. It's basically almost the same exact chord progression as that Peter Frampton song there. So really, really cool. Hopefully you're enjoying this so far. If you are, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, all that groovy stuff. And it reminds me of Peter Frampton. Do you feel like I do? Do you feel like the Cherries do? All right, I sure do. All right, Douglas. Shoot, I'm at work. We'll have to rewatch later. Have a great day. All right, thank you very much, Douglas. Very, very cool of you for popping in. Yeah, definitely check this out later. Catch the whole thing. And definitely let me know if you have any questions about any of this stuff. I think it's pretty important. Lots of chord progressions that you can create with this. And, you know, it's a formula here, as you can see in this graph right here. C, D, E, F, G, A, B. It's the major scale. And the formula is whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. And that's the formula of the major scale in whatever key you're looking at. Now, the one kind of tricky part here is that when you get to the 6 chord, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it's A minor, which would now be like whole step, half step, whole step, half step, whole step, whole step. So it's really just continuing the same formula, but from a different starting place. But if we, instead of A minor, you're just going to bring it up to C, C minor. That's what makes it the parallel minor, is that it's at the same place as the C major. And that's pretty cool. So it's essentially just allowing us to play the major and the minor scale together. But you can't always do that over major chord progressions. there has to be some kind of chord in there that identifies it as being minor. And in the case of this progression that we just did, we went from the major chord to an E flat, like Peter Frampton. And you could take any one of these chords, like another one. Here, check this one out. This is a very popular one, to F, to an F minor, to a C. So I'm taking the C chord, the 1 chord. I'm going to the 4 chord F, and then the 4 chord of the minor, which is a minor chord. So that's a really, really a popular one. You go to the F, it's a major chord. Now the 4 chord of C minor is an F sharp minor. As you can see, C, D, E flat, F. Now if you went to the E flat, that's the 1 chord of E flat major. So all I did was just shift the whole key of the song from C to E flat. So play the same thing. Do the same thing up here in E flat. Hard to get my big fingers up here. Same thing right here. Back to C again. All right, and what's cool about this solo, you have the F, then F sharp minor, F minor. So I could play in C, F minor, back to C. All right, so lots of cool, interesting progressions. You might have heard something like this before and said, well, I don't understand how to create that, where to come from. Like, Radiohead has a song called Creep that is very similar to that, where it goes from the G to a B major. And that's essentially the same thing. Where it goes from, that would be like the the equivalent of playing the C to E major. I'm not to a C to E major. Right there. You know, the 3 chord being the major. Let's see if this is minor. Actually, no, it's not the equivalent of that. That's a borrowing chord from another type of place. So it's to an E. To a, if I went to an E major from there, that's making the 3 chord a major chord right there. So you're borrowing from another, not the relative minor, because it would be E flat right there. So I'll get back to you on that one. That's a whole nother lesson right there. Radiohead borrowed that progression from the Hollies. That's right. Definitely. I heard that song recently too, and I was like, "Wow, this is it." I had the chorus in my head. All I need is the air that I breathe, and I wanted to hear the song. And then I put on the song, and I heard what essentially Radiohead completely ripped off from them. But I did hear yesterday, oddly enough, that Radiohead gave them writing credit on Creep for that song. So for borrowing their song, so to speak, which is really cool that they fessed up to it and that they give their credit. It's rightfully theirs, you know. So really, really, really cool. Hope you're enjoying this. If you are, hit that like button, ring the bell, subscribe to the channel, all that groovy stuff. And yeah, so it's pretty cool. I mean, looking at this chart, you see a lot of stuff in there, and because it's the same scale, really, just shifted. I mean, the C major scale and this E flat major scale, it's the same thing. So you could see the where the chords are together. You know, like for instance, you could see like how the formula is. You have two minor chords in C, the D and the E. Then you have 2 major chords together, the F and the G. So when you're in C minor, you know you have 2 minor chords together like this, the F and the G. You know you have 2 major chords together, which are the like that. You have the F, the E flat, and the F right there. No, not the F and the E. Sorry about that. So you have the C minor, D diminished. So two minor chords right here, the F and the G minor. Then you have the A flat, E flat, and F together. That. That's what it is right there. And 2 major chords together, A flat and B flat. Back to C. So pretty cool. To remember the formulas there. That could be very helpful when you're coming up with these chord progressions, and when you're soloing in the progressions too. So trying to target the certain notes in these progressions. Like here's a C to an F minor to a C. So when you're playing on the C, you have the root, the third, the fifth. Same thing on the F. Here's an F major, F minor. All right, some questions out here. Let's see. Barry Coulter. Will the tritone work the same in the parallels? Will the tritone work the same in the parallels? That's a good question. Tritone of what? The tritone of, because when I think of tritones, I think of the five chord inverted to the tritone. You know, unless you're thinking of just the flat five in there. You know, if that's what you're thinking, like just the fat five, the flat five of C. I mean, you could play that over when it's minor, add that in there for sure. I mean, that'd be something like this. Just add the blues flat five in there. Doesn't sound too great, but if you get in there really fast, the MC5. Never listened to them that much. Actually, a little bit, but not as much as I should. That's a great band. Fantastic band. But I'm not quite sure, Barry, if that's what you're talking about here. The tritone or the same in the parallels. That's a good question. I got to look into that more. You know, the tritones, how that would fit in there. Definitely raises an interesting question. Maybe you could explain to me what you're talking about a little bit more as far as your idea of the tritones in here. So, love to know that. So, let's see. So what else could we talk about with parallels? If you have any other type of progressions you want me to hit on this, you know, let me know. I mean, there's so many different progressions you can make up within here. A really cool one that I could do right now. Check it out. Let's create another loop here. I will save this. To a new loop here. And I'll just erase this loop. So now we have drums. We can create any one of these patterns. Maybe we can go from like a C, just regular C major, maybe to the 2 chord of C minor. So check it out. It'd be like to a D half diminished. No, maybe like this. Maybe like this. Something like that, right? 2, 3, 4. G. C. So I'm playing C major, minor. Back to C. That's pretty interesting right there, right? It's pretty cool. Flat 5 sounded cool. Well, yeah, okay, cool. I'll take that as a good compliment there. Any note will sound good if you can squeeze it in, like somehow. But in this case, this chord progression, I came up with a. And let me know if you have any chord progressions you want me to do. Well, we're in loopia mode here now. And C. And I took the 2 chord. What am I doing here? Oops. My E was a little out. So, okay, I took the 2 chord from the parallel minor. So I have C here. I took the D half diminished, which is this, you know, it's a 2 chord of C minor. Like that, 2 flat. Back to the C, back to G, and to C. So that allowed me to, you know, it's a different sound going to the minor. So when I hit that C scale, and it went to B, I mean, it went to D. Look at that scale. I'm playing the D Locrian mode right there. If I wanted to target to the G, let's try this out again. Try targeting this. that's just another chord progression, right out of the blue. Yeah, pretty cool stuff. And you can mix it up too. You could start on a minor, and then borrow chords from the C major diatonic. Really, it doesn't matter. You can go back and forth with it. You can go right from C right to a flat 4, which is pretty popular. Let's try that one. Have a little loop here. So like a C to a minor 4. And just a C major. Try that. So you can see. So, pretty cool, pretty interesting. I think so. If you're enjoying this video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, all that stuff. I go live every Sunday. Here we are going live again Sunday. I think next week, I think it's going to be on a Monday, but I'll let you know that in a minute. So anything else about this? I will, let me take a look. I have a couple notes here. Look at lots of different types of chord progressions you can come up with. You know, just knowing about the diatonic chords are really cool because they're all the same in every key. You know, doesn't matter. Last week I did a lesson on the 7 diatonic chords and we were in the key of E. So you just transfer this right to C and you're doing the same thing. So it's really, really cool. Come up with different progressions. If you have any kind of progressions you want to know, let me know here. Here's another parallel example. Let's see, 1 5 flat 7 is very popular. You know, that a lot of people do. They'll put in, you know, on a major progression, they'll throw in that 7 chord, that flat 7 they would call it, back to a C. So you keep playing like a major type of riff right here. You know, so if you were playing C major there to G, you know, you want to make it minor, hit that 7, because that 7, that B flat, is the 7 chord in C minor. So back to C major. So I'm borrowing a chord from the C minor. I'm going back to C major. So let's create that loop and see what it sounds like. Little drums right here. I'm using the Boss RC5 loop station, which is a great looper. It allows me to come up with all kinds of loops, and I'm on like the 5th scene right here recorded. So what do? We did like a C. Let's do that. 3, 4. Almost sounds like Don't Come Easy, right? It doesn't come easy. Just like. So another example right there of what you could do over that. And what else? I mean, another, like a lot of times in that type of progression, people will go from a C right to the G minor. It's pretty cool. That's a 5 minor right there. And it sounds kind of like this in a progression. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Oops. Did I even catch that? Let's see. No. Let's try that again. One more time. Here we go. Here's the loop. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. The G minor. Then the B flat major. So it's the 1 chord of C, 5 chord of C minor, 7 chord of C minor. So I'll play C major over the first chord, and I'll play C minor over the remainder, or over this chord, and then back to C major. It's kind of like this. That's it. C major. Check it out right here. The G turned into a G Phrygian. So it's C. Yeah, so it's C major. Going off the rails a little bit, but you get the idea. Can you solo over the first C chord in C minor? Ah, that's a great one. Robbie, thank you for that. I almost forgot. That's a really, really good point, and it's a great one. Let's do that. So all it is the number one. I should have did this first, Robbie, and thank you very much. It's Am I still in tune with it? It's kind of amazing. Or was I ever in tune? So, what Robbie's saying, can you solo over the first C chord in C minor? Well, actually, I might be misunderstanding you here, because what happens normally is you would have the C chord. It'll just switch to minor. Let's just try that. And then I'll get to your point, which I think is a little bit different. What you're saying, what you might be saying is this. Let's just play a C major chord. 1, 2, 2, 3, 4. Here's a C. I'm playing a C major pentatonic. You're saying you play C minor. Your question is this. Can you solo over the first chord? I'm assuming this first chord. C minor. It's kind of loud, the loop, isn't it? Just lower that a little bit right for me. If I played C minor over this, it would sound like this. I mean, I can make it sound good if you tried, but if you just played the regular C minor scale, it's like, here's a C minor note when it wants to be C major. Hear it? See, here's that and the chord. If I went. I mean, does that sound good or bad too? If you play it in a blues context, you would normally take the minor third and you'd bend it up. Unless you played it really quick, like. So that's the C minor, but the way I attacked it, it almost works a little bit. Check it out, like. So I'm playing C minor, but it's in the attitude, I suppose, of how you play it. But what a lot of people will do is they'll switch from major minor to the chord like this. One, two, they'll go. C major, C minor. I think my loop got low now. So now you can play C major, then minor. pretty silly. So hopefully that answers your question a little bit right there. Robert, are you still doing? Let's get back to here. Hey, there I am. There you are. So, are you still doing the ABBA gig? Yes, still doing the ABBA gig. Playing next week. Going off on a tour. That's why I'll be doing this on Monday, because I think I'm coming home on Sunday. Bunch of gigs in November this month, including this Thursday coming up in Coachella, California, Spotlight 29 Casino. It's not like we're playing Coachella. I don't even know what that means, Coachella, but that is the city in California that we were playing. Spotlight 29 on Thursday the 7th, and on the 9th, over to Rosemont, Illinois, the Rosemont Theater there. So I'll be coming home on Sunday. So we're going to do it on Monday, Veterans Day, next week, the 11th. And then I go away for a bunch of shows and the rest of November, starting on the 15th through the following week to the 24th. It'll be like almost nine straight days of that stuff. So pretty cool. Never hurts to have a guitar in your hand, right? That's what I always say. So thank you for asking about that. Roberts, that has an Albert Lee kind of sound. Yeah, I always, when I was a kid, I heard Albert Lee do this riff. That was they always rip off. I'm sure anyone quite knows that this came from Albert Lee, but it's a riff like, it's like heard on like a Starlix when I was a kid, like the one and only time I ever heard a Starlix video. But it was Albert Lee doing this. He went like this. Oops. I was like, wait. Did that, and then he went down. He went to E. The same lick. Then A. Same lick. Then D. So it's like. Then it went. And the last part was the fun part. It went. I always add this in. A little chicken picking going on there. Oh, actually, that has Arthur Lee. I thought you meant Albert. Albert Lee. Arthur Lee. Oh, different guy. Okay. Arthur. Yeah, that's right. There's two different guys. I always mix them up. Anyway, Arthur Lee. Okay. Very, very cool. Both great. Band was called Love. Let's see. Awesome. All right. Thank you very much. All right. So we're pretty. Yeah, we think we went over a little bit. So thank you guys very much. Any questions about any of this stuff? Let me know in the comments or right now in the chat right now. If you like a copy of this graph that I came up with here, this graph, I'll shoot it over to you. Just email me at info@Cherry, and be cool. Something to look at, something to figure out. And once you get this, it's not like you have to look at this graph all the time. It'll just make sense. You're playing the C major, then you're playing C minor, and all the chords that are related, the 6 diatonic chords. Because I know that A minor is the relative to C, right? So if I was playing an A minor, all those chords now to there. It's like so I do the same thing in C. Oops, same thing in C minor. Mix and match with the major. So it's a cool way to mix and match chords, make them sound interesting. Write great songs. I mean, some of the greatest songs ever just had that one chord in there that just was outs, that just sounded so good, you know. And so it's just a good idea to get your feet wet into borrowing chords. Of course, there's other ways. You could borrow chords from different modes and have different things like that. Like, just real quick, if I was to play a C and I wanted to borrow a chord from C Lydian, well, C Lydian is really the 4 chord of G. So in the key of G, D is major. So that's one way to go, D. That's where you get that sound, you know. So that's a whole nother thing, but pretty cool. So thank you guys so much for watching. Really appreciate it. You guys are awesome. Thank you, Jeffrey. You know, you guys for hanging out with me for a little bit here today on a beautiful Sunday. It's so sunny out. I'm going to go out and enjoy some of this sun. It's kind of cool out today. It's hot in here. So, of course, they start cranking the heat on, and we don't need the heat quite yet. It's only 50 degrees outside, right? So, in New York, in Brooklyn, New York. So, thank you, and thank you, Robbie. Thank you, Scott. Very, very cool of you. Like how you ended that steel guitar lick. Awesome. Thank you very much. That was like a... I always love doing that. The root, the 5th, take the 2nd degree and bend it up to a 3rd. All right. Thank you so much, guys, for hanging out with me. Roberts, Finney, Barry. A lot of people popped in. A lot of new people I never met, never seen, which is really, really cool. Keep coming. Keep coming back. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Love yous all. Remember, be cool, be kind, be cherry. If you want to see another video on this this topic about parallel and borrowing chords from the parallel minor, I'll put it right up there for you to check out. And I'll see you next Monday. All right? Have a great week, and I'll see you then. Peace.